Hello everyone, my name is Tara Lons. I'm a University of North Carolina at Charlotte student, and this presentation will discuss using concept maps in nursing education. Concept maps. What are they and how can we use them in nursing education? A concept map is a graphic tool which can be used for organizing and representing knowledge. It allows us to create a schematic to follow along with when analyzing a thought process. We think and learn with concepts by linking new concepts to ones we already know. Learning using concepts means a learner is making an intentional effort to differentiate, relate, and link concepts to one another. Concept mapping is not at all new. Historically, blocks or circles were simply drawn on a piece of paper or cut from construction paper. Then a thought or concept was written in these blocks, and the blocks connected by arrows, and a display of the thought process was manually written out. With the advent of computer software and web-based programs, allowing this to be done on our computers, we are able to not only clearly represent our concept maps, but share them with instructors, classmates, or the world if we choose over the web now. So, utilizing computer-generated concept maps allows us to organize knowledge and display our meanings. We're able to link concepts and ideas and present a schematic of our thoughts and findings. Objectives. The objectives for this presentation include discussing the benefits of using concept maps in nursing education, describing how concept maps can be used to foster critical thinking, and to explore the web-based apps that are available for creating concept maps. Using concept maps gives us a way to efficiently organize obtained knowledge, which helps both the instructor and the student and provides an environment of effective teaching and effective learning. Concept maps can be considered another tool for an instructor to use. Using a variety of teaching methods helps to keep students engaged, and incorporating concept map assignments could be useful in almost any course as an alternative teaching method. Each of the next 3 slides will detail an article that specifically looks at using concept maps when teaching healthcare students, so please join me as we look at each of them. In researching this idea, I found many articles about concept mapping and its use as an educational tool. The first article I chose was by Suzanne Harrison and Caroline Gibbons, and its title is Nursing Student Perceptions of Concept Maps from Theory to Practice. This qualitative study describes the experiences of nursing students who are asked to construct and use electronic concept maps in both theoretical and clinical settings. The authors note that although concept maps are seen as an effective teaching tool, there was little qualitative data to describe how students feel about learning to master this skill and how they feel about concept mapping itself. The data was collected from semi-structured interviews and analyzed. The initial positive results came from open-minded, motivated students and those who described themselves as visual learners. Additionally, some of the more resistant students did come to like concept maps when they realized how it could help them learn difficult concepts. The negative perceptions expressed had to do with resentments over needing to learn a new technology and their lack of understanding regarding how concept mapping might affect them. The authors found that regardless of learning style, students found concept mapping challenging because it required developing new skills and new approaches to learning. They also conclude that it's important to explain to students up front how concept maps are useful tools. Finally, they found that the training given to the students in the study was insufficient. They gave students a 40-minute initial training session and brief follow-up sessions, but they realized that was not enough time for training. Although overall the students in the study did find the concept mapping was useful, they did find it difficult to master. The next article I reviewed was by Barbara Daly and Dario Torre and is titled Concept Maps in Medical Education, an Analytic Literature Review. In this review, 35 studies were examined in order to determine how well concept mapping functions in an educational setting. For this review, studies of healthcare profession students included undergraduate and graduate nursing students, as well as medical students. Concept mapping was found to encourage critical thinking and reasoning. The studies found concept mapping to be a meaningful learning technique. A downside that was found and identified was that additional development is needed regarding scoring and grading of this type exercise. Overall, the literature review proved that concept mapping engages learners and stimulates active learning. They also note that there are now a variety of programs available that can be used to incorporate concept maps into a teaching strategy. Dale and Tori describe a good concept map as being at once simple but also elegantly complex with profound meanings. The third article I reviewed was by Christine Martin and is titled Computer Generated Concept Maps, an Innovative Group Didactic Activity. Although I found other studies related to this topic I could have discussed, I really liked this article and its pertinence to the topic. Martin is a nurse educator who uses concept mapping as a tool for her nursing students, and she describes how they enhance learning in a group setting. She lays out a step-by-step process for how to assign a concept map project. She explains how she uses this technology as an instructor, and she starts with the preparation phase of assuring the technology is available, including hardware, internet, and then moves on to how she divides her classes into groups and assigns individual topics to the group. In the end, each group shares their concept maps with the entire class, so all students in the class can benefit from the concept maps produced by the other groups. Martin discusses CM generating software including Glyphy, Spinscape, and SmartDraw, and that these all allow the user free trial periods to become accustomed to the programs. In most cases, the time period is enough to complete assigned coursework. She emphasizes that concept maps provide a means to share information with the entire class and that they help a student to develop critical thinking skills. The downsides she lists have to do with the initial student support required to teach the technology and the fact that for ongoing use of the web-based programs there is a small cost. Martin is enthusiastic in her support of this technology and clearly feels concept maps help her students retain new information while keeping them engaged in their learning process. In summary, computer-generated concept mapping appears to be an effective nursing education tool that can promote critical thinking and engage students. Daly and Torrey found in their literature review that concept maps function in four main ways. They promote meaningful learning, they provide additional resources for learning, they enable instructors to give feedback to students, and they still allow for assessment of learning and performance. One of the biggest challenges that is noted in each article is the student's learning curve. Yes, the learning benefits are clear, but the time that must be taken to learn how to create concept maps must be considered. I made myself a Glyphy account and spent some time to begin to learn how to use this program. It's not a quick learn, but as with any technology, once I become used to it, it will be very helpful. I like that PowerPoint software allows us to create concept maps right in the Smart Art tab that we can then put right into a slide. Two of the short concept maps in this presentation I made with Smart Art and one I made with Glyphy. Concept maps have always been useful in education, and now there are endless opportunities for us to create complex, detailed concept maps right on our computers. This technology is available right at our fingertips. And finally, based on the articles reviewed and my own exploration of CM generating sites, I feel this educational tool can be used to stimulate students' creativity. Concept maps can help nursing students develop critical thinking skills and retain pertinent information. What we have here is an old learning activity reborn and enhanced with the use of new computer-generated software. Isn't technology great? On this final slide, I have noted several concept mapping software sites that can be explored and used to create concept maps. Best of luck with your creations, and thank you for viewing my presentation.